America Meditating Blog Talk Radio Show. We collect wisdom, hear stories, and inspire each other. I'm Sister Jenna. Tune in live from Monday through Friday at 8 a.m.
The entire world watched.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And humanity saw that the sky was not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. He went without food, not to lose weight, but to help people lose generations of hate. While many around him rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. When others used religion as an excuse for war, he used it to remind them of love. Mahatma Gandhi made the world a far better place by reaching out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. Soul. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vin Verga, author of The Soul of All Living Creatures, and I listen to America Meditating Radio.
Sister Jenna and the American Meditating Radio Show are the key to peace, truth, beauty, and all that is good in the world, which is why I am a confirmed listener. This is Valerie Alexander, author of Happiness as a Second Language. Hello, everyone, and welcome to America Meditating Radio. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. We're broadcasting from the beautiful Meditation Museum in the nation's capital, and this is number 2 in Tyson's Corner. What was I thinking? To think about this, opening up 2 museums in 6 months. It was bold, I'll tell you that for sure, and pleasant. Believe it or not, we had this incredible architect called Diane Tate, and she designed the YMCA here in the nation's capital and did an incredible job. And what was beautiful about Diane is that she's into building sacred spaces. And here she just pops up like an angel out of the blue and goes, Sister Jenna, don't you even worry or think about it. We're going to make this happen. And folks, the opening night and everything was so overwhelmingly beautiful. And you know how there are parts in our stories where we get visions or we're able to see to some extent the future. I didn't know how this place was going to look, but all I knew, there were these windows. And these windows offered the opportunity of us experiencing the sunsets. And I told Diane, I don't care how you design this place, don't close off these windows for me. Just leave them open. One of the most astounding things about this place are those windows. I spoke to the realtor the other day, and he says, Sister Jenna, I still remember the sunset from opening night. So please, if you happen to be in the nation's capital, come by and join us for sunset meditation and feel your soul becoming not only enriched, alive, but vibrant and golden. As they say, silence is golden. Stay tuned for a minute or two. We're going to have the wonderful Arielle Ford on, and she's got an amazing book out called The SOULMATE Secret. Manifest the love of your life with the law of attraction. Can you believe it? Finally, we can actually bring who we want in our lives by manifesting and reading Arielle's book. So we're going to get her on the air in just a few minutes, but before we do, why don't we do what we do best here on the American Meditating Radio, and that is to go inwards and have our moment of inner solitude. Ready? Breathe in deeply, relax, and let's touch our inner light.
Inner light. Taking just a minute, I relax my body and become aware of my inner light. I visualize each one of my thoughts weaving itself into this light. I draw from my heart the power of inner peace and the light of love. My thoughts are filled with compassion and forgiveness, patience and tolerance.
I'll be
a priceless song that is. I'll Be Waiting by Lucinda Drayton on her Through Your Eyes CD. Beautiful track, and how timely to welcome in our conversation on an incredible new book by Arielle Ford called Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate. But let me give you a little bit about Arielle. Arielle is a leading personality in the personal growth and contemporary spirituality movement. Arielle Ford has spent the past 25 years living and promoting consciousness through all forms of media. She's the author of the international bestseller, which I mentioned earlier, The SOULMATE Secret, Manifest the Love of Your Life with the Law of Attraction, and her latest book, Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate, debuts on December 29th and offers women groundbreaking shifts in perceptions on how to transform their relationship into a deeper and more loving and more fulfilling lifetime love. Arielle has been called the Cupid of Consciousness and the Fairy Godmother of Love. What a title. She lives in beautiful sunny California with her husband and soulmate Brian Hillard and their feline friends. And today we're really proud to welcome Arielle Ford back on the air. Hi.
Hey, Sister Jenna, how's life?
Great. And how are you doing apart from making people love each other more?
You know, I got the best job in the whole world.
You sure do. I think that's a massive calling.
Yeah, you know, it was unpredictable that I would end up doing this because I certainly didn't grow up in a home experiencing people who loved and adored and were devoted to each other. But I decided years ago after I got married and discovered I had no partnership skills that I needed to become a student of love and figure it out for myself.
Well, bless Brian's heart, wouldn't you say? Because, you know, we will call to us the people who are sort of opposite us but actually are showing us a part of ourselves that's very powerful.
Oh, that is so the truth. I often call him a heart chakra on leg. You know, his mission in life is really just to have everybody who he comes in contact with have the experience of unconditional love. And he really does that day after day. Yeah, I want to be like him when I grow up.
Oh, wow. Lucky you and lucky him. Well, let's get right into this whole new release of a book coming up in December. What called you to now expand your conversation of soulmate into your upcoming latest book called Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate? What was that all about? What were you going through?
Well, 7 years ago when The Soulmate Secret came out, one of my friends said to me, you know, it's really lovely that you wrote this book for single people, but I want to know, how do I turn my mate into my soulmate? You know, she'd been married for 20 years. And I actually spent several years thinking about that. You know, I didn't have the answer for it. And then I took on this project called the Art of Love series, which was an online summit I did 5 different times to interview the world's top leading love and marriage researchers. And after every interview, I'd get a few really good tips, and then I'd bring them back to my own relationship and road test them. And a lot of it worked really well. So eventually, when my publisher called and said, okay, we want another book from you, I said, oh, no, I don't have any more books in me. And they said, no, you must have a book. And I remembered this title, Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate, and I realized I had this amazing amount of information that I had not only gathered, but I tested it and it worked. So that was the impetus for the book.
So let's talk about this conversation or this topic of soulmate, because I remembered back in the days when, of course, you know, we talk so much about soulmate, and then in my 20s, I had a very profound, deep experience of God's love, and it became my soulmate. He became my soulmate. And so everyone else after that were my soul friends, right? So when you talk about soulmate, I would love for you to educate our audience more on what's Arielle Ford's interpretation of a soulmate.
Sure. So I believe that first and foremost, a soulmate is somebody you can completely be yourself with, somebody with whom you feel physically and emotionally safe, somebody that you share unconditional love with, and when you look into their eyes, you have the experience of being home. And if you accept that definition, then the really great news is that all of us already have many soulmates in our life. So it could be our kids, our parents, our siblings, our coworkers, our dogs, our cats, God, angels, ancestors, because all of those are people that we share unconditional love with, that we feel safe with. So I have a very expanded definition of a soulmate. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think definitely when two souls meet eye to eye, you can feel the flow, but there might also be issues down the line, and then you can feel the resistance, and you go, uh-oh, there's definitely a history here, be cautious. And I also believe that when you are coming from a place of your virtues and qualities, regardless of whatever comes to you from another person, it's going to work out. It's going to work out.
And one of the greatest myths about soulmate relationships, I think the three most dangerous words in the English language for women are happily ever after, because they're brainwashed into thinking, oh, when Prince Charming arrives, when I'm with my soulmate, it will be easy and we'll never argue and there won't be any struggle. And, of course,
Antonia's given me signals across the studio, Arielle, because she says if I was ever married, I'd be married for only 2 months.
But see, the truth is, when you're with your soulmate, you're finally in a place safe enough for all your childhood wounds to surface, and there's no more healing container for human beings than to be with their soulmate. There's a deep, deep level of healing that comes as one of the gifts, and it's sometimes very painful.
Where does the pain come from, Arielle? Why is it that it's been thousands of years that have passed and we have seen all the do's and the don'ts to make relationships work, and still in the 21st century, men and women are struggling to respect and accept each other from where they're at? What's causing that?
I think part of the problem is you're raised in a home where that behavior isn't modeled. Everybody's reliving what they grew up with. So you think that the toilet paper roll should go up, and he thinks it should go down, and toothpaste should be squeezed from the bottom, or it should be squeezed from the middle, or children need to be raised with a firm hand, or children need to be given a lot of freedom. So we come into this relationship supposedly as adults, and we have all these rigid ideas about how to do things and what's right and what's wrong. Plus we have all these unsaid expectations about who's going to do what and what's fair and what isn't. And then you put the whole humanness factor in there,
right.
And it's just it's a recipe for fireworks, not the good
Definitely.
kind.
No, you hit something on the nail. One wants to squeeze the tube from the bottom, the other wants to squeeze the tube from the top. What is it going to take for us to say, okay, honey, you can squeeze it from the top, but just let me tell you, I'll be squeezing it from the bottom, okay? What's the formula for creating
I
the
actually
soulmate?
have a story about that, because I am a bottom squeezer and Brian's a mangled from the middle squeezer. And for the first couple of years we were married, every time I looked at my mangled tube of toothpaste, I'd have this really negative response about him. And I would say to him, why can't you just do it right? Why can't you just squeeze from the bottom? And he would look at me like I was totally, completely out of my mind. But it bothered me, and every time I walked in the bathroom, I noticed I'd have this very negative feeling about my very cool husband. And finally one day I thought to myself, you know what, this isn't his problem, this is my problem. I'm the one having the negative reaction. He could care less. What's a new story that I could make up about this tube of toothpaste that could change everything? And so I put the tube of toothpaste in the palm of my hand, and I had a conversation with it, and I kept saying to it, what's good about you? There's got to be something good about you. And then it dawned on me. I had this epiphany, and here's what happened. All of a sudden I said, thank God I married a man who brushes his teeth. And suddenly this mangled tube of toothpaste had new meaning. Every time I saw it, I smiled, because now I knew I would grow old with somebody who may still have teeth at the age of 90.
And smell good, too.
And smell good, too. So that's what's possible, because we're living like they're bad and wrong because they're leaving a wet towel on the floor consistently. I heard our president does this. Obama does this, leaves wet towels everywhere, at least pre-White House, before people picked up after him. But the truth is, if you love your spouse and they're leaving wet towels on the floor, after they die, you would give anything to trip over that wet towel again. So why are you making such a big deal of it now?
So true. So let's look at steps then, Arielle. Educate my listeners. What can folks start to do to manifest their soulmate?
Oh, to manifest a soulmate. Well, the very, very first thing you want to do is be very clear about the heart traits and qualities you most desire in a soulmate. Because quite often people will give you a list. Oh, he needs to be 6'2", 170 pounds, dark curly hair, green eyes. None of that is going to contribute to your long-term happiness. Whether or not they're kind, loving, compassionate, generous, fun-loving, leading a healthy lifestyle, those are things that will contribute to your long-term happiness. So the first thing to do is to make a list of all the deal breakers, all the things you're certain you don't want your soulmate to be. So the first thing, let's just make it up. Let's say you know for sure you don't want your soulmate to be a lying, cheating, smoking criminal, okay? Now what you're going to do is turn those things. Yeah, those are good ones, right? Turn those
very
around
good deal breakers.
Into positive statements that you would put on a soulmate wish list, which is, my soulmate is an honest, monogamous, loving, law-abiding, financially responsible human being. Those are important qualities to have, especially if your history has been you're always picking, lying, cheating criminals.
Right.
You have to get clear. Now, when I was making my list, and I did this, I was a first-time bride at 44. When I made my list, I looked back on my past relationship, and I saw that my major complaint about all these guys is that they never had any time for me, because I was always picking these captain of the universe types, super smart, highly ambitious, very, public careers kind of thing. And those kind of people are busy thinking about them, not me. So I realized the most important quality that I needed in a soulmate was generosity. Not so much with his wallet, but with his love, affection, attention, appreciation. So that's, and that was different for me because suddenly that was sort of confronting. It was like, well, I guess I need to be more of that too. Am I willing to be more loving and appreciative of somebody?
That was what I was going to ask you, Arielle. Like when we are manifesting that soulmate, doesn't the manifestation actually, isn't it rooted in the amplification of our innate qualities that can support that energy when we attract it? Because a lot of times we ask for these things, and then when we actually get it, we can't sustain it because we're not emotionally equipped to actually handle the soulmate of your life.
Well, that's the work. That's the work of marriage. Opposites do attract. So as much as you can manifest the type of qualities that you want, they're going to come with stuff you never knew existed and that you didn't know you even needed. So we sort of fill in the blanks for each other. And I become a better woman because I'm with Brian. He becomes a better man because he's with me. And you see it all the time. Like you'll see almost all relationships where one person's a saver and one's a spender. That's just not an accident. That's just what's happened so that, you can learn to be vulnerable about what your issues are around money or abundance, and you can learn from each other. Or you'll find one person who's like the nicest person that ever lived, never, ever raises his voice, and he marries this shrieking, screaming, angry shrew. Now, is that woman really that angry, or is she there to be the let off the steam of the anger the man is suppressing? And can they learn to be better people together? So, nature sort of tricks us sometimes into getting what we need, not always what we want.
That's very true. Well, let's go for one last curve question. When you start to place down on your paper the perfect soulmate that you'd like to bring into your story, don't you find that your options become less because, and I'm not being a pessimist, and I'm not out there, but the whole thing is when you continue to look for what you would declare as the best companion that would complement you as well as help you to grow, doesn't it sometimes internally for that person feel like their options are getting really less? Because one of the reasons why people are jumping into relationships is that they're afraid of growing old alone. So they just take what they get and they try to see if they can work it through along the way. What would you speak to that on?
Yeah, so there's two schools of manifesting. So there's the school of I pretty much know what my heart's desire is and let me be very intentional about it and, and at the same time keep asking for this or something better. And then there's what I call advanced meditation or advanced manifestation, where you trust God as your partner. And you just say to God, I surrender this to you. I know and trust that you will bring the perfect right mate to me at the most divine time possible, and I am open, willing, and available for love. So depending on your level of consciousness and trust and belief, you can do one or the other, or what I like to do is a combination of both. So I was very specific. I had 48 items on my soulmate wish list. And I later discovered I had, only 48, and I got all of them except 2. And the 2 that I didn't get were quite inconsequential. I had when I had first wrote this soulmate wish list, I had no plans to write a book about it someday. I was just doing it for my own benefit. And a few years after we got married, Brian came running down the stairs waving this beat-up old yellow legal pad saying, hey, I found your list, I found your list. And I was like, what list? I had forgotten about it. And he said, I'm everything but 2. And I said, what didn't I get? He said, well, I'm not Jewish. And I said, well, I'm a Jewish, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, pagan, so really that's not a problem. I said, what else didn't I get? He said, I don't cook. I said, well, we've never missed a meal, so that isn't a problem. But everything else I lucked out on. So, are you limited?
That is such a nice story, Arielle. That is so sweet.
Yeah, so I think
bet everyone's teary-eyed right now because it sounds like what everyone would love to do to co-create, because I think every human being has the inner capacity to find their self-worth and power and faith and trust that they deserve a companion in life, that they can grow old together and wise together. Very beautiful.
And, I would take it one step further. So you must be familiar with the unified field, or what Greg Braden calls the divine matrix. And in this, quantum physics has proven, supposedly, but I believe that they have, that everything and everybody is already connected. On some unseen molecular field, we're all connected. And we already know that the past, the present, and the future are already happening at one time. There is no past or future, there's just now. So taking that into consideration, what's really more true is that we are already connected to our soulmate on the unseen level. It's what I call love before first sight. So if you're desiring a soulmate relationship, you can start the relationship right now today by closing your eyes and talking to your soulmate and starting that heart connection, even though you don't know their name or where they live or what day or date you will meet them in the 3D world.
Beautiful. Arielle Ford, you are thorough inspiration and a beauty. Thank you so much for being on the air with us, and we're looking forward to getting the book and also hearing how beautiful it is. Yes, for sure. Come to Washington, Arielle, so we could have you here and definitely do a book signing.
Oh, that would be fun. All right. Well, thanks for having me back on. It was great talking with you.
Same here. All the very best.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, how rich and thorough was that conversation with the wonderful Arielle Ford. Her upcoming book being debuted on December 29th, Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate, will be available, and feel free to visit her on her website, SOULMATESECRET.com or ArielleFord.com. Hope you enjoyed our conversation today. I know I certainly did. Don't forget to put your list down so you can see what you really need or deserve or earn. Personally, I think the ultimate soulmate is the divine, the supreme. I can be and do whatever I want, and the energy is always there for me. totally signing up for that relationship. Remember, no one, my friends, can take away your happiness unless you give them permission, and we are here to love each other the same. So let's do it. Take good care, and I'm going to end today's show on Pearl's, that's really, what's that guy that sings the song, Happy Song? Pharrell. I'm going to end today's show with Pharrell's song, Happy, because we're all happy after our conversation with Arielle. Take care, everyone.